everybody, and welcome to Cronos, the New Dawn. I wanted to do a first impressions video because we're about 7.5 hours into the game, and I think that's just a really good time to talk about what I think about the game. Do I recommend it? There is a lot coming out at the moment. Between September and October, there is just an absolute insane amount of games. So I figured it would make sense to give you guys an early impression so you can see if it's something you want to pick up. So what is Cronos, the New Dawn? This is the new game by Bloober team. This is the team that made Silent Hill Remake, the second remake. But I've always really liked what Bloober team does. I feel like Bloober team has really, really good ideas, but they kind of struggle to completely nail the game the full way. So I was hoping that with Cronos the New Dawn that looked incredible, that they would nail it. And so far, I am feeling very good about it. It is a third-person action exploration game set in a fantasy Poland where an outbreak of some kind has happened. There's actually quite a lot of overlap with COVID, like the stuff that you read, you're like, oh, lockdowns, social distancing, et cetera, et cetera. But there is this thing that has happened and it's turning the people into these monsters. So you are tasked as a time traveler to actually travel between different points of time in the game and kind of clean up the mess. At least that's what I'm getting from it so far. You're traveling to different parts of time in Cronos: A New Dawn and post-outbreak, going before the outbreak fully happened, and you're kind of taking people from that time and saving them? Well, I'm a bit sure about the saving them thing part at the moment based on what I just saw, but no spoilers. I won't do any spoilers in this one besides what you're seeing in the very, very early game. Now, comparisons that you can make for Cronos: A New Dawn are definitely Dead Space, Resident Evil, kind of a mixture of those, but you do have this very timey-wimey sci-fi story going on. It's not just sci-fi and body horror or spooky sci-fi. There is a lot of time traveling stuff going on. And so far, I have read every single note. I've listened to every single thing you possibly can. And I have really, really enjoyed the story so far. And I'm hoping that they end up landing it because yeah, I really, really, really like it. Some of the elements of gameplay is that you have a gun, you can charge your guns to do more damage. They can also make them do more AoE. You can also have them pierce targets if you charge it, and that's how you're going to be doing damage. Your melee, you can do it, but I don't recommend doing it all the time. Your melee is really not going to be that strong of an option for you, and it's really only something that I do when I either do not have a choice or I know that they are basically nearly dead and I think I can get away with it. Because if you're just sitting there trading blows with a monster with melee, you're probably going to get hit. And that's going to be something you're going to have to deal with. The inventory is quite limited. As you can see, you do not have that many spots at all. You can progress through the game to get more spaces in your inventory. But for early on, like where I'm at, I'm still like, oh man, I definitely do not have enough space to where I can bring every single thing that I want with me all the time when I'm going out in the world. So you can get more space, which will eventually make your ammo situation a little bit easier to deal with. But this is absolutely a game that is giving you limited ammo, limited space, and you're going to have to really make smart decisions about what you use and when you use it. Speaking of being careful with your resources, there's another thing that you're going to want to be really careful about using, and that is your torch. This is basically a big AoE fire move, and you use it to burn bodies of your enemies. Now, the reason that you want to burn bodies is because if you don't, and there's other enemies in the area, they can actually merge with the enemy that you just killed. And the more they merge, the stronger they're going to get. They're going to get new abilities. They're going to get more health. Sometimes they can get like armor on them. And at that point, don't even talk to me. There's some of them too far gone. It's going to take too many resources. You do not want to let that happen. So I think they've done a really fantastic job with Cronos: The New Dawn of the amount of ammo that they give you, the amount of resources that they give you to make more healing, more ammo, more equipment, etc. And how they manage how many enemies you come into contact with, how much damage they're going to be doing, all feels really well tuned. Like a lot of the big fights, I ended up coming out of it either with no ammo or very, very low ammo, and everything else I have already used. It's all gone. So that feels incredibly well balanced to where the game always feels intense and I always have to be intentional with what I'm doing and when I'm doing it. Now I just want to tell you about some things that really made me go from I'm really excited about this game because it's like sci-fi, body horror, timey-wimey stuff and I really like that. And I also like Team Bloober, Bloober Team, to okay, I think this game is really special. So the character is in this really big, hefty looking metal suit. And when you're moving around the world, you can really feel that weight. And it feels awesome. And I don't mean that in a bad way of like she's slow and clunky. I mean, when you turn, your character isn't doing these fast turns. She's doing like a very deliberate, I'm in a heavy suit turn. There isn't a dodge in this game, which you think would bother you. It doesn't bother me. I mean, it could always bother you, but it makes sense for how hefty this suit is. You're really kind of running and using your spacing well and moving in a deliberate way in this game. And I love that. Another thing that I love about this game, I may be a little biased, but I swear to God, the story is you are here to save cats. You are traveling between dimensions to save cats. And why do you save cats? As far as I can tell so far, it's because they're cats. And I want to show you a situation that happens, I want to say about 4 hours into the game, which is an interaction between you and an NPC. So if you don't want to see it, skip to the end of the video, but I just want to show you guys what I'm talking about with this game doing some stuff that I think is really fun and really makes the characters and the world endearing.
Where did the cats come from? I noticed that the space around the terminal is inhabited. How did they even survive?
You mean our little famished fluffy friend? Hard to say. They just come, then they leave. That's their nature. And there's no point in fighting it.
Aren't you worried that their presence here might cause pollution?
Pollution? No.
Malfunction?
No. They do not destroy. They are clean.
They are clean. It's true.
Sometimes they just knock things off tables and workbenches, but I don't resent them for that. They just crave a little attention, like we all do.
And yet they pretend to be so unavailable.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't expecting that from this game. But the characters are actually really endearing, and I love the way that they talk to each other with, and they seem so unavailable. And the whole cat thing, there's just some personality in this game that I'm really, really appreciating. So overall, 7.5 hours in, I am absolutely loving Cronos the New Dawn. Super invested in the story of the timey-wimey stuff. Super invested in who are we and what are we doing here? Really, are we the good guys? Are we bad guys? I don't know right now. Could go either way. So absolutely love it. Love the weightiness of the character. Love the combat. Love the limited inventory. Love the limited ammo and resources. Having a blast so far. Of course, I don't know how it's going to pan out. I will keep you updated, but so far so good. So if you're into something like Dead Space, if you're into these third-person kind of horror games, I think you will like this game quite a bit. It's doing a lot of very cool things. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've been hanging out in the streams watching all of the games that we're playing, thank you so much for being there, and I will see you guys later. Bye.